If you get asked about genetic and neural explanations of OCD, then you begin by saying that OCD is polygenic. That means that there are many genes involved. It's not just as simple as saying there's an OCD gene. In fact, they think there's up to 230 or more genes that are implicated. But then you're going to go on to talk about just 2 genes. So the second paragraph, you would talk about the faulty SERT gene. So if there's a mutated SERT gene, that results in lower levels of the neurotransmitter serotonin. And so the lower levels of serotonin cause malfunctioning to areas in the brain, such as the caudate nucleus and the orbitofrontal cortex. They end up sending minor worries to an area called the thalamus that then think it's minor, so send it back. So you end up with a worry circuit. It also means if you've got low levels of serotonin, then you tend to get anxiety, and so the anxiety would feel overwhelming. Then you go on to talk about what would happen if there's a mutated COMT gene. So people who have this faulty mutated COMT gene have higher levels of the neurotransmitter dopamine. So the higher levels of dopamine, that means that people can't suppress the intrusive thoughts, so the obsessions just keep coming. It's also higher levels of dopamine are also linked to habit formation. So the compulsions, the behaviours that people do become ingrained. And the third thing is that it increases the supposed importance of intrusive thoughts. So the intrusive thoughts probably are not actually that important, but because of the high levels of dopamine, the intrusive thoughts feel really important, meaning that someone feels compelled to act upon them, and so they're more likely to do the compulsions. Now, I've drawn the OCD cycle there. You don't have to draw that, but it does only take like a minute to say that OCD starts with obsessions, it leads to anxiety, that leads to the compulsions, and that leads to temporary relief. If you want more information, including all of the evaluations, you could have a look in the book. So all of the AO1 and genetic and neural explanations is on the left, and there's 5 evaluation points. So you could write a whole 16 marker. And that's the book. It's called Oxford Revised Psychology, and it's a real bargain. It just will hopefully transform your revision and give you loads of good ideas and help. Good luck.